Hello my friends, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday on a very unusual Wednesday, July 14th, 2021. This is Jennifer. Well guys, I got back from my trip really late last night, really this morning from Maine. My husband and I went to Portland, Maine for almost a week and had just a fantastic time. We specifically chose Portland because we wanted to go somewhere that was very different than where we are from, and we live in Central Texas, so we're landlocked. It's hot here in the summer, so we went somewhere that was on the coast and is cooler this time of year. It's in New England, so it's a very different experience for both of us. We had an absolutely fantastic time. Went to the Maine narrow gauge railway, and for anybody who doesn't know, I really like trains a lot. I don't know a whole lot about them, but I love riding them, and we took a little tour on the train, and that was really fun. It did rain some while we were there, but it did not stop us from doing anything. We got wet a lot, and we actually ended up having like 3 really beautiful days and a couple of rainy ones. We went out on the ocean and on a whale watching tour. We did see one minke whale. We either saw one several times or several more or less at once. We think it was probably just one. We saw lots of porpoises, we saw lots of seals, tons of seabirds, which I was actually just fascinated by the seabirds. I love the sound that seagulls make. That was a really unexpected treat. We just enjoyed being somewhere different than where we are used to being for quite some time. And I will admit that if it wasn't for my absolute dread of winter, I would be tempted to live in that part of the country. I'm a southern girl, not used to cold weather, and when I looked up the snow days and realized there were over 60 snow days a year, my heart skipped a beat. I realized they have the infrastructure to deal with that, but I get the feeling just from talking to people that they feel very much about their winters as we do about our summers, which is just a thing that happens and you deal with it. So I don't know. Anyway, it was just a wonderful experience. We had lots of great food. We walked everywhere. We did not rent a car. We got our hotel had a free shuttle, so we shuttled from the airport to the hotel, and then we walked everywhere the entire time we were there. We walked many miles. One day we walked almost 10 miles, and just the fact that I can do that now is phenomenal. It's the first vacation I've taken with my husband since I had surgery, so that was amazing. Instead of just talking to you about it, I'll probably show you a few pictures, maybe put a little video in, but I want to show you my souvenirs because I had a really fun time shopping. There's a lot of local everything, local artisans, local food. I was really impressed by how much farm to table there is, and apparently that has always been a thing, so that's just a beautiful way to do everything. It was wonderful. There was so much just local wine, local cheese, local seafood, local everything, and it was beautiful. It was a great experience. So I have to tell you that I leaned pretty hard into the lobsters. I love lobsters as iconography. I loved the lobster art. I loved the marine art. I had a really good time with that. I have a little lobster necklace on that has the longitude and latitude of Maine on it, which I thought was pretty cool. I got a lobster cat toy, which is going to go to my daughter's cat Marie, because we can't do soft toys in my house because Ramses will eat them. He will actually tear them apart and eat them. So I will give this one to Marie. I got myself a Maine dish towel. I got a couple of these. These are actually made in Vermont, so I thought of you, Abby, but I'm sure this is something you see all the time, but we don't get these here. And this has a little lobster on it, and it's maple sugar candy. I've got a couple of these. I'm going to give them as gifts. I did, of course, go to a fabric store. On Congress Street in Portland, Maine, there's a great little fabric store called Z Fabrics. They also have yarn and other stuff. Had a really nice time going there and looking specifically for some local sort of nautical themed fabric, which I did find, and I love this. And I have decided what I'm gonna do with my fabric that I buy on trips, which I don't do a lot. I'm not a massive fabric shopper. I tend to purchase fabric for projects or tonals for my stash. So what I've decided I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy myself fat quarters when I travel. I did that in Albuquerque as well. and then I'm going to use those for my travel accessories, so like pillowcases for my travel pillow and things like that. So I plan to make a travel pillow out of this fabric. And of course I had to get some lobster fabric. And this is, I think this is the last lobster thing that I got. I got a little plushy lobster that says Maine. I also got an engineer bear from the Maine Narrow Gauge Railway Museum. I like to have little mascots on my trips, and I tend to like take them with me and take little photos during the trip. I didn't get a lot of this guy because I didn't find him until the last day. There were tons of plushy lobsters, but they were big, and I didn't want to pick one, guys. I don't have room for a big one, so it took me a while to find a tiny one. This is some handmade soap. I got a sampler from a local vendor, and just multiple different really nice natural scents, so that'll be really nice to have around here. We always get magnets for our fridge, and so I have from the Portland Museum of Art, from the Railway Museum, and then I got one from one of the little vendors that we went to, and that one's Portland, Maine, little hand-painted guy, and I love that. We also got a couple of Christmas ornaments, which is also a thing we do, and that's the Railway Museum, and then this is my little Portland, Maine with the lighthouse that I got. Another thing we did while I was there is we went to the Cryptozoology Museum, which it was worth $10. It was weird and fun and not quite as cryptid as we thought it would be, but it was fun, and I got some tiny Bigfoot, this little Bigfoot squishies, and I don't have it out here with me, but I will show you my water bottle. I replaced my travel water bottle at the airport here in Austin, and then proceeded to put travel stickers on it as we were going through our trip. And hopefully I am showing you some video of that right now. There are stickers from Charlotte, which is the airport we were in on the way there. We had quite a long layover, so we explored a little bit in the airport. We went to a restaurant called Cheese Louise, which is fancy grilled cheese sandwiches and handmade lemonade, and that was fun. I have a cryptozoology sticker that has Bigfoot on it, and I think I have a lobster sticker, and that was pretty much it. I did actually try to, I wanted to get a sticker on the way home, but all of our flights were messed up, and we had to fly a different direction. It took way longer, and we did not have a very long layover, so we basically ran from one plane to the next plane to get home yesterday. So there was no sticker from Philadelphia because there was no time. This is my awesome little whale cup I got. I absolutely fell in love with this. I think it's beautiful. I love little porcelain coffee cups. It's one of my favorite things to have. I've actually slowly kind of transitioned out of big mugs into little porcelain coffee cups, so really happy to have that. Very last thing I have to show you, my biggest souvenir, my probably most favorite souvenir, is I bought a sea bag. These are handmade in Portland, Maine, out of old sales. I was aware of this company. I didn't know how cool these bags were until I actually got to look at them. This one is actually a drink bag. It has pockets inside to put bottles in, and there's a hole in the bottom for, like, you know, your ice to drain out or whatever. But I'm gonna use this for sewing supplies because I think it is the perfect bag to put my sewing stuff in, to take it places. It's made, like I said, made out of sailcloth. They're made in a sewing factory right there in Portland, Maine. We actually got to walk by the original location, and I'm super happy about this. It's just one of the coolest things I've ever gotten. It was a little pricey, but like I said, they are handmade, they are made locally, and I do love supporting a local economy, so probably my favorite of all my souvenirs. And that is it. That was my complete souvenir haul for my trip to Portland, Maine with my husband. It was our 27th anniversary, and it was a freaking awesome one. We had a great time, and it's always over too quickly. That is it for me. Thank you for waiting an extra day for my video, and probably most of today, because I have a feeling I won't be editing this till later. I hope you guys had a wonderful week. I hope you had a crafty week, and I hope to see your video. You guys, I'll see you next week. Bye.